It's cold up here, but I don't have to worry about hurricanes. But you know the funny thing about it, all the years AJ and I lived in New Orleans, we never left when the storm was coming. We'd always stay. And somebody told me, you know, if AJ would have been alive, you'd have been in that house. And I said, yeah, I sure would have been.
You don't think? Because this one was supposed to be the worst.
Well, I wasn't going to leave the retirement home. But somehow or other on that, it was a Sunday, wasn't it, when he came in? Sunday morning?
I think so. Yeah.
Anyway, I heard on the television that the pressure was dropping, and it was below 7 or below 9, I don't know which it was. And somehow or other my brain connected it to an old movie I'd seen with the pressure, and I said, you know what, I think we better get out of here. So I called my friend who was around, she lived in the same one, but around the corner. No, I think we need to go. Okay.
Where'd y'all go?
She had called and got the closest reservation we could get was in Arkansas. We took up 65, Road 65.
Really? You went pretty far.
Yeah, so I was halfway up here. So we stayed a week, and then she was saying, I want to go home. I said, yeah, I do too, but I don't think it's very wise right now. We're 2 women. We don't know how much gas we're going to need to get back. And I think we ought to just stay a little bit longer. So we stayed about another week.
In Arkansas?
Yeah. And then Carol called me, or I called her, I don't know which. She says, why don't you come up here? It's going to be a couple more weeks before you can go back. Now, we didn't know what we had left.
Yeah, that's the anxiety part.
Well, she owned the house around the corner, but she'd sold her house just before and moved to that same retirement center. So we didn't know if the retirement center was going to be underwater or not. So after the 2 weeks, we came up here for, I don't know how long, a week or 10 days, I don't remember. And we left here about 7:30 in the morning. We didn't get home till 11:30 that night.
Yeah.
But I drove. Well, we were supposed to stop, and then I said, how you doing, Naomi? All right? You think we can go the rest of the way? Oh, come on, let's go. So we drove all the way home.
So you got back to the retirement place and it was okay?
Yeah. They said the water came up to the door, but it didn't come
And
in.
where was it in? Slidell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Further in town than we were.
Okay.
But that Katrina was something else. And to think of all the years that if I had seen a Katrina before, when I was real young, I'd have never stayed
Well, were you
indoors.
looking at TV where they were saying it was a Cat 4 or a Cat 5 or whatever? That didn't... It was just that pressure, huh?
The pressure's the one that impressed me. All
Yeah.
the rest of it, you know, I had heard about it and everything, and, you know, I wasn't thinking about it until I heard that pressure. Something about that just made me go. That's what I say, God
Yeah.
watches over me. Because
Yeah.
I'd have been there. I'd have stayed.
So what do you imagine you would have done if you were at Eden Isles and the water started
I'd
coming
have
up in
been
the
in the
house?
boathouse.
Yeah, because
Oh, right.
But I'd have been there for a long time.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
wouldn't have had food up there. I had all the food was downstairs.
So the water actually came up over the roads? In
Oh,
Eden
yeah.
Isles?
Yeah.
But not over the boathouse, huh?
No, because that was
The
like
our house was built higher than most of them.
Yeah.
We,
Because we had that hill, remember
Yeah.
the
Right.
hill?
yeah, and we put it up even higher. Our foundation was higher. We built the house very strongly and with the best materials we could find. And we had a good contractor. So we had help all the way around. And I think that's why it was only 4 feet in the house, but can you imagine what it was in other houses?
Mm.
No, I hate to think.
I hate to tell you, this couple that I tell you I'm still friendly with, they had, I think, 6 feet in their house. Everything was rolling. They didn't have a thing that I think they could use out of the house. And they still, every time they hear the wind or a hurricane, they go on.
They head for the hills, huh?
Yeah. And I don't blame them. But it was so hard for them, it was devastating. They lost all their pictures, all of memorabilia, and they had been traveling Europe a lot, and they had all the books and everything from those trips.
Where do they live now?
They redid the house. They dumped everything out. Oh, when I went, before I came up here that Saturday, we drove around in Eden Isles. Every house had piles and piles of junk that they
That
had.
must have been sad.
Oh, was terrible. I said, I don't want to see this, let's go.
Really?
Well, it was all my friends'
Of
houses.
course.
Yeah,
And I don't think there was any that was totally unbarred by something.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's just not the same now. It's
Yeah.
just not the same.